everybody, what's going on? It's old Grandpa, man. I'm sitting up in this brand spanking new FF13 mini excavator with the cab. Man, this cab's nice. Check it out. I mean, it's got a fan in here. It's got lights. Got all kind of goodies in here. Seat ain't worth the crap. I'm gonna throw this seat out. It's already done broke. So there's a few things y'all need to know. I got how many hours I got on this thing? Let me see here. I've got exactly, look here, 19 hours. I guess y'all can see that. 19 hours is what I got on this machine right now. Now I'm gonna tell you what I've had to do to it. But first, I'm gonna tell you something you need to know. So if you buy these machines from anybody at all, used car lots, if they got them lined up down through there trying to sell them, if somebody's got 4 or 5 of them on the side of the road trying to sell them in a crate, you buy them from Temu, if you buy them from Amazon, you will lose your warranty. The company that makes these machines in China will not warranty a second sale. You hear me? A second sale. They're not going to warranty these machines. So if you buy one, it ain't going to have no warranty on it. If you buy it from the Chinese company that's selling them and they send it to you in a big truck, then you got a warranty on it. But if you buy it from anybody else, your warranty is void. However, all the little parts on this equipment is cheap. Your hydraulic hose is cheap, your hydraulic cylinders are cheap, your hydraulic pumps are cheap. Hell, even the engine in is cheap. So the tracks are cheap. Couple $100, you get a new set of tracks put on it. So there's really nothing on it that's very expensive. I mean, I looked on Amazon and the same pump that this one's got, it's got a 15 horsepower motor in it, Kubota motor. So the hydraulic pump that runs this one here ain't but $165. The turn pump ain't but $75. So I mean, they're cheap, and that's what you're gonna get, your cheap product. So I have put this thing through some rigorous tests, I'm gonna tell you. And this is a pretty good little piece of equipment, and it will dig the hell out of some dirt. Now I added me some mirrors. I bought some mirrors to go on each side of it here. See them little mirrors right there? That I can't turn around too good with my old neck and back. And I wanted me some mirrors on, so I got me some side mirrors I put on there. There was magnetic mirrors that goes on a tractor, and I took the magnets off and just screwed them onto the cab, because them 250-pound magnets wasn't worth a flip. They wouldn't hold it on the side of the tractor. But let me go over a few things. So you want different attachments. I got 3 different buckets. I got a rake. Got a couple of different attachments for jobs. I mean, this is a bad little booger, I'm gonna tell you. It'll dig, and you don't have to run it wide open. I've already put a mark right here. White mark. So this throttle, it goes way up here, but all they running about right there. I mean, you don't even have to run this thing even a quarter of a run for it to dig. I mean, it digs good, and the harder you run it, the more bouncer it is. Now, let's get out of this thing a minute. Let's talk about it. I'm getting hot sitting up in here. So, first thing I done is I went up. The first few hours I used it, about maybe 6 hours I was on it in the break-in period. I noticed it popped. When it turned, pop, 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 pop. It kind of snapped. When it swing around, it pop, pop, pop. So I'm like, what's that popping sound? It wasn't doing that before. So what was wrong was the motor on the turntable was loose. Number one thing to check, the turntable motor, because everybody on here says they work loose. Number 2, I started getting a rattle through the machine real bad, like a bad vibration. It was the motor mounts, the screws coming out of the motor mounts in the bottom of the machines. I had to tighten them up. So the door latch right here, the door latch on it come loose, was flopping around. I had to tighten that up. So far, I went around and tightened every single bolt on this piece of equipment, and they have not loosened back up. Now you're gonna have a little bit of, see? You're gonna have a little play, and it's gonna have a little rock to it, but I'm talking about a pop. If it snaps and pops when it moves. So that's that. I also had to tighten the tracks up. So once you run these things for about 16, 17 hours, you want to jack it up and take care of the tracks, because the tracks will get loose. They're nylon belted and they stretch, so they'll get a little loose. And once you tighten them up that first time, you probably won't have to tighten them up for again. But if you step on them and they bend down real easy, and you feel it hit the metal on top of the track guide, then it's time to tighten them up. Other than that, it's been a pretty good little piece of equipment. I'll show you inside it. I mean, I haven't had any issues with this thing, other than a few things. So the seat right here, the little latch on the seat, it's done broke, and the seat sitting forward. So I ordered a new seat for it. I'm not even gonna fool with this thing, but it ain't very comfortable. So another thing they do with these machines before you purchase one, that is where the fuel tank is. It's on top of the motor. So I have ordered, I've got a big aluminum 5-gallon tank coming. It's going to go on the back, which is going to give it a little counterweight. And I'm going to do away with it's terrible trying to put gas inside this thing. But I'm going to secure all this stuff down, bolt it down good where the seat don't move. I added a set of seat belts in it. Put seat belts in it in case we turn it over. So if you turn one over the cab, you ain't getting out of it unless you're skinny enough to get through that hole right there. Now you do have they just give you a fire extinguisher and a window brake. Well, you bust the window out to get out, but I don't want to have to do that neither. So they get extremely hot inside with the cabs. So I added this fan right here. I put this fan on the outside because I didn't want to fight with it on the inside. I got it pulling out, not blowing in, pulling out. You would not believe the heat that this thing has took out of this compartment. It is warm when it comes out of there, which has cooled the cab off. Everybody says turn them in. Nah, turn them out. Let the motor's designed to cool itself. Just turn it out and that gets all the excessive heat and all out of it. Number 2, number 3 or 4 probably, number 5. So your muffler on the back of this thing right here. The muffler on the back of this thing right here is nothing no more than a lawnmower muffler. That's it. Hang on, we'll open it up and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I was getting a lot of carbon monoxide fumes inside this cab. I bought this thing brand new. So I was getting a lot of carbon monoxide fumes in here. So this piece is just stuck on this piece, on the outside piece. It's not connected to a pipe inside there at all. The little pipe sticks out about yay much. Yeah, I got stitches in my finger. So what I done is I took a hammer and knocked all this in, put some powder full of JB Weld and screwed this into the exhaust system itself and tightened it all down together. And I do not have that problem anymore with the gas fumes coming inside the cab. Now down here in the bottom, I picked all my hoses up and put some foam on them. All them hoses is laying in that metal down in there and they're rubbing. If you want to tie any electricity in, your cutoff switch up here is a negative. So that don't work too good. It's a ground. So if you want to tie in your fan, I just tied it in over here to the hour meter, which has a hot and negative on the hour meter. When you cut the switch on, it's on, it cuts the fans on. So other than that, that's really all I've done to the old girl. Other than, like I say, put these mirrors on them. I like them mirrors. Them mirrors are all right. They're all right, I like that. So let me tell y'all something. Let me show you this thing right real quick. Let me see. Turn it on here, man. You see that little fan? All you need is a 7-inch fan. That little joker right there pulls some air out. But when you cut your switch off, it all goes off anyhow, whether you cut the key switch off or not. Now, I will tell you this, I did learn something as an excavator operator over the years, off and on. People's talking about how jumpy they are when you go to dig. That's right. Well, I got news for you. Even a big excavator can be jumpy. So what everybody's showing you on here is wrong. So when you operate this piece of machinery right here, when you're digging in the front, you're digging holes, you're digging ditches, you take that blade and you rotate this whole thing around and put your blade on the rear. That counter sets this machine forward and gives you more. There's a lot more on the ground up front to dig, and just put your counterweight down on the back. And when you do that, you won't have any problem with it rearing up or bucking up in the front end where everybody's showing y'all how to operate them backwards. You don't even operate a big backhoe like that. You want to roll it around. You want to roll it around, make sure your blade is behind you when you're digging. Number 1, you won't hit the blade with your bucket. Number 2, it's a whole lot more stable. Hey, you got these tips from old Grandpa Cotton. Remember, if you buy one from anybody but the manufacturer, you're not going to have a warranty. And you better know how to work on a piece of machinery before you buy this thing, because every single bolt on this joker will come loose if you don't watch it. And I put nuts on a lot of them underneath the bottom to keep the main bolts, like the engine mount bolts and all, from loosening up. Hey, you got the old tip from Grandpa. Hey, remember, take kid fishing, don't turn the excavator over, and I'm gone.